However, with that, Emory took that mindset and what we did with that, because we were trying to be creative. We didn't have a real airplane, but we turned the paper into it, and our creative minds, and we would draw on them and make your own plane and put whatever logo you wanted to put on. I mean, that's what we did. So he took that concept and that mindset of being creative as kids, and he flipped it and said, how about we take that same creativity, that same mindset, regardless of how old you are, whatever dream or whatever aspirations you have, regardless of your age, you can still achieve it. You can still attain it. So he took the mindset and the youthfulness of the paper airplane that we had when we were kids, and he flipped it and turned it into a brand. So I was telling him that was the meaning of the paper plane. And then, of course, now he has the plane crew. So he extended it from the hats into the shirts, into the jackets and the hoodies, and kind of rolling into and connecting with, Nipsey back in early March. They had a relaunch of the California Love paper plane hat with Emory and Nipsey Hussle. So if you go, you can just Google Nipsey Hussle and Emory Jones. You Google it and you'll see the pictures. Russell Westbrook, a lot of folks were out there in LA, and then were out at Marathon Clothing at Nipsey's clothing store, and they had the grand opening. I think it was March 9th or March 12th, something like that, right around that time. But it was real huge out there, in LA. And keep in mind, again, that entire shopping center was owned by Nipsey. You know what I'm saying? So you talk about cats talking about what they gonna do with their money, what they gonna do, or what type of money they got, what type of bread they got. Well, he took that money he was getting and flipped it and invested it back into the community. You know what I'm saying? So him and he and Emory had some other things that they were gonna work on too, which is another sad aspect. It was sad enough that you lose your life, but I mean, he was going forward, he was moving forward, paying it forward, and yeah, it was March 9th. Yep, March 9th. It was California Love. It was Paper Plane and the Marathon Clothing present California Love with Nipsey Hussle, Emory Jones. They celebrate the release of the limited edition combo crowns. That's the hat. Yeah, and that was Saturday, March 9th. Ironically, Saturday, March 9th, the day Big was killed. Same day. Wow. So yeah, that was Slauson Avenue, man. And Nipsey rep Slauson real heavy. So yeah. Speaking of repping. Oh man, hold on. That was my man. That was J-Mo just called in. I'm gonna miss him. He'll hit back. Let me see. Hold on. Good.
You got it. You got it.
Okay.
You got it.
Yeah. Okay, Cheese. I see you, baby. I see you. Yeah. So I'm gonna hit J-Mo so you can call right back. So we got J-Mo calling in from Baltimore. So yeah, I'm trying to talk and okay, here he is. All right, here he is, J-Mo.
Donni-Oh, what's happening? It's JT.
What's popping?
What's good, baby?
Everything good, man. I pulled up last night on my boy Reggae last night.
Hey, look. As soon as I came in, right here, a big smile on his face. He said, "Luke, J-Mo, he's the man in Baltimore." He said, "Y'all went to some room. Y'all went somewhere where like only select few can go to. Like J-Mo went right in there. Yo, he hooked us up and whatever. I said, yeah. J-Mo is the Eastern Shore's ambassador, and he's the honorary mayor of Baltimore too."
You're crazy, man. Oh my God.
Yes,
we had
sir.
a good time last night.
Yeah, and it looked like it too. Looked like y'all rocked out too.
Oh yeah, we did, definitely.
Yeah, that's dope. Look, I was just we were just talking about Nipsey and his connection with POV had mentioned him being at one of the college basketball games last weekend and meeting up with his this kid. He was helping this kid, one of the kids that he had I guess he had a little relationship with him on the Texas Tech or whatever. And
right.
He went to the game last week. He was talking about that, then just talking about everything he does in the community. And I was also, brought up, a lot of people don't know, he was signed with Rock Nation, and his, relationship with Emory with the paper plane, the California Love paper plane hats, and the collaboration they did back on March 9th, which ironically, March 9th is the day that Big was murdered, you know. But yeah, they had that at Marathon Clothing with Emory out there, and you can told people you can go up online and pull it up. It's right, you can Google that and see. They had the flyer and everything for that, man. But just something that Nipsey and Emory, two forward-thinking, two like-minded businessmen collaborating and was really gonna take things to another level. Speak on that, man.
Donni-Oh, when last week when we got off the air and I heard that Nipsey had been shot, my first call was to Emory. And, with that being family, I know him and Nipsey, they ran together pretty much every day, and he told me, he said, "Cuz, I'll call you back. I'm at the hospital right now." And then he called me back about, an hour later, and he let me know Nipsey was gone, what I mean? And that was the end of the conversation. And then, I spoke with him earlier this week, and, once again, I sent him the love from the show, and sent the family love from the show, because that's what we do. That's family.
No doubt.
So, and we spoke a little bit about the whole situation, and, the whole situation, I'm like you, they need to kill that conspiracy situation.
Oh, man.
Kill story. This was a dude that Nipsey and him ran together in a gang back in the day. He was an aspiring rapper, of course.
Mm-hmm.
As we all know, he had, some jealousy in his heart for the situation. He felt that Nipsey should put him on. He came to the store. It wasn't the first time he came to the store, and Nipsey pretty much told him, listen, we don't get down. Now the situation they talking about with Nipsey not having security with him and all of that, this was a situation where he just stopped through the store. It was a quick run in, run out. He was gonna grab some gear for one of his homeboys that just got released from jail.
Mm-hmm.
And this cat happened to be, over there that day,
Mm-hmm.
and he was so disrespectful with the situation, and pretty much it just came down to, Nipsey wasn't rocking with him. He was known in the hood as a snitch, period. Matter of fact, he snitched on some of the dudes that they were close. He was close with, as well as Nipsey.
Mm-hmm.
He snitched on some of them dudes. You know what I mean? So of course they wasn't rocking with him.
Mm-hmm.
So he felt some type of way. Nipsey told him, "Listen, you know what I mean? Yo, bro, don't come around here." He was like, "Well, I'm trying to spend some money. He was like, "Your money ain't no good. Just don't bring all of that around here."
Mm-hmm.
And then the dude left, and we know how the story ended with that.
Mm-hmm.
And not only he was so disrespectful with the whole situation, after he shot him, he actually spit on him, and he kicked him in the head as well.
Mm-hmm.
This was a dude that, as you should know at that point, with a killing, that's a personal situation then.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you do all of that. It wasn't no, drive up and we gonna rob somebody or none of that. It was a personal situation, and he felt as though, he wasn't where he wanted to be, and Nipsey wouldn't help him get there, because once again, who rocks with a snitch? When you're a known snitch,
mm-hmm.
you already know. You know what I mean? What it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude's not gonna rock with you. And he once again he was an inspired rapper. Early in the week he was on Instagram, talking about, he didn't have no involvement in it and all of that. But we know you had involvement with it. It was eyewitnesses that said you had involvement with it.
Mm-hmm.
But they trying to spin the situation to say it had something to do with Dr. CB. None of that's true. It's just a dude that had hatred in his heart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I got it firsthand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, him and Emory just did a grand opening at the store, and they incorporated the whole Rock Nation theme, the hats, the jackets, the T-shirts, everything in the store. And Emory even told me, he said, when he first moved out to Cali, that Nipsey was one of the first dudes that pulled up on him and showed him love.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So he was, they were, like you said, they was about to do some other things too. That was just the tip of the iceberg per se.
Mm-hmm.
With that, and we just gotta do better as black men. We gotta get to a point where we stop killing each other. It was a senseless killing. This is a dude that was He was putting money back in the community. He was putting other dudes on from his community that, people didn't know about that hadn't even dropped yet. It's just, some dudes, they're going to hate. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Period. And this was one of those cases right there. It had nothing to do with the documentary or any of that stuff that you're hearing about on social media. Now, Chris Darden, let's talk about that coon.
Right.
He's pretty much, we all know, Johnny Cochran drug him.
Right, exactly.
Drug him all across the court.
Exactly.
He's in it for publicity. That's it. And that's all. I think he wants to redeem his name for this case, but we know what avenue he's coming from.
Right.
But, come on, man. We already know. Ain't nobody paid him. No, nothing. It's a publicity thing for him.
Yep.
That's all.
And the thing with that, and you're exactly right, J-Mo, because when's the last time we heard his name?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's it right there. This is an opportunity. It's a high-profile case, and I'm sure it's touchy. So a lot of people probably didn't want to take it, and he figured, okay, people like, oh, well, dude don't have the money for that. Well, there's something called pro bono. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And that's what's taking place. Right.
Yeah. So,
that's right.
And then also he was a public defender for years. So he really wasn't making a lot of bread. So he looked at, hey, this is an opportunity to get my name back out there, get my face back out there, and who knows, take a shot at it. If I win it,
right.
I'm back on the map. Either way, I'm back on the map. So that's what that is. Like you say, he's cooning. I mean, he cooned to get OJ locked up. You know what I'm saying? Now he's cooning now. So he is who he is,
Absolutely. And I'm sick of these coons. It's time for us as a culture to kick these coons out of the culture. It's time for us to kick these culture vultures out of the culture too.
Oh.
I'm sick of these guys.
Well, look,
they always in the background playing Geppetto with these puppets around them. We got some on the Eastern Shore. I ain't gonna call her name, but we're gonna have a funeral service next week versus a Sunday service.
Hey, look, J-Mo, but just real quick, I just thought of something. You know what I'm saying?